Good morning. Get you the fancy opening, and then we can get to it super fast. Oh, where's the tunes? Need the music. Start your day. Yes. Good morning. Give me one second. Hold on one second. All right. All right, let's get to it. We got a lot to go over, short time to do it. So the most important thing that I can offer is to go to these banners real quick. Oh, if you're trying to get in the community, please make sure you're on the list. And I'm going to use this quote today. No, I can't use that one. Hold on. This is a good one. The link is in the description. I got to go here. Non-farm payrolls estimate is, what is the estimate? It is 70K, right? For private. Let me just make sure I have it right. Payrolls private side 70K. And which I think is really important. And the consensus is 70K. Let's just keep it at consensus. Consensus is consensus. And what you want to focus on too, you're going to want to watch the unemployment rate. This is going to get wild. Unemployment rate's 4.4. We're going to get one of those little British guys on in a second. I think that's the way to do it. There it is. That's the one I want right there. Cool. I had somebody actually tell me they tune in because of the quotes. It's kind of interesting. Someone told me they were having like a really bad day once. And like the quotes really helped them, which I thought was interesting. I know I'm early, so people are going to like freak out and go, "Oh, why are you so early?" I said 8:15 to 8:30, shooting for 8:15. Early bird catches the worm. Let's do it. All right. That's why you're moving. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right, cool. Okay, let's start. I just want to start here, and I know it's a weird spot for me to start, but I think it's important. If we look at something like a Bitcoin, we rallied, bounced, and we're rolling over. And I just want to point out and be Captain Obvious while we wait for this data, because nothing's going to matter until this data's out, and then we'll go from there. But if we take a look here at this 66,938, 66,944, you cracked. And you cracked pretty hard. And I just want to show it. You're not really breaking down. You're trying to hold that level, but it's really important to get that. Here's that little line, and you broke it, and you're trying to get back above it. And that line is really that low. So if we look at that line and that low right here, you've cracked it. Okay. And now you can't get back above it. And I just watch this area, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. If you've been watching Saturday and Monday, Tuesday's video, as you know, I linked them all together, and you're going to want to watch the strength report tonight. But if you link these all together, let's just drop this down. Let's just drop it like it's hot right there. You're going to notice something that's really, really important is that you're starting to lose not only the Bitcoin, but you're losing these names on any kind of balance, and people are not trading crypto the same way. And that's really a problem for like coin, and it's also a problem for Bitcoin. People that were in those names were promised a lot and got nothing for what they were promised, like literally nothing. So just, a bag, I guess is the best way to say it. So if I look at coin, I was long till yesterday and I had a great trade on it. I kicked a bunch of it out and then I held a runner break even. I closed the runner break even yesterday. And then Hood that came out, we should touch base on this. I got to be honest, I didn't think this was that bad. Like I like picking on it just because it's fun, but it really wasn't that bad. It truly, in my opinion, was not that bad. So for me, I don't see any reason that I need to do anything with it, like at all. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to sit back, watch, and wait, and go from there. I don't think I have to be very active with that today, but I can pull up some levels because I know you guys, you crazy kids, are just going to be like, whatever, boomer, Robin Hood forever. But your put wall is not even down to 70, right? So you always want to know where your put wall is. There's your put wall. So just keep that in mind. And then that's going to tie us to some other things, right? We're going to know that that's really where the put wall is. But we really want to focus on, what's actually moving today and, the rotation. And you're definitely seeing that rotation. But let's do the ES really quickly here. And let's get one of those British guys on. We'll go to this one, even though I have all that lined up too. I'm going to get it faster than the British guy, I think. But I'll just read it to you when I get it. But just in case, we never know. Let's get him going. Hello. 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 Come on, little guy. Come on. Should be coming out. Should say something. All right. All right. Anyway, so let's get to this because I think it's super, super important. So that's where our CTA level, this is the level that we talked about watching. And you can see how we're just sitting right in here. And we're not really doing a whole heck of a lot. I just want to drop this here. Don't show me notifications. Just get that little British guy speaking. Where's he? Come on. Hello. Should be saying things like 2 minutes and you're not saying anything. That makes me sad. All right. So you're 2 minutes away. I might have to speak for the little British guy today. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I don't know where he is, what he's doing. Come on. Okay. Why won't you work? There you go. So let's just drop this in here. And we're going to drop this in here. And we're going to watch these levels. This is going to get wild, I think. And let's go to the NQ. And we tried to undercut and we're holding that line. Oh, there you go. 1 minute. There he is. Doesn't sound British today. Hold on. There he is. All right, let's do it. Thank you, little British guy. And then we just want to watch that area down here as well. But from that, where we drew it, the volume profile, this is what we're dealing with. And for time's sake, we're going to have to just jump right on this and see what happens. And then we'll have to talk about these earnings plays that are looking fantastic and then seeing what they're going to go. So we're going to have to get Swifty here. I think you're not that far off. But let's see. Gold's on fire. 10 seconds. It's exciting. And then I'm just going to say whatever it is. If you can hear him too, but I might actually have it before him. Unemployment rate. Oh my God. Yeah, so you have a really strong employment. and non-farm payrolls. This is going to be wild. Let's take a look at this. You were all over the place, man. All right, so now you're revising. You, so you revised last month only down. That's an insane number. That is not what they were expecting at all. Let me go through it. They're saying it all came from the private sector. It's not from governments. Wow. It's saying you're way stronger. That their gold's going to plummet. Gold and silver are going to plummet on that. Gold's going to plummet on that. Silver just plummeted, I bet. These numbers are insane. They're absolutely insane. You're going to see silver and gold come in. I don't think gold stays down because of the central banks and their diversification. But see the difference in gold versus silver? Gold automatically just gets a bid. It's always going to be like that. You're always just so they're doing a lot of different revisions. That's why I'm leaving the guy on. Those numbers are just going to go insane. GEV is going to explode now because they've been waiting for it. They've been waiting to come out with that stuff. So now you're going to see all the data center names move. You're going to say it. Give me 1 second. All right. Gold will come in. Silver will come in. Market should go up on this. Why would the market go up? Let's just walk through it. Because inflation's dropping, right? Inflation's dropping, productivity's going up, and labor, people are having jobs. So productivity's going up, people are having jobs, and inflation's dropping. Right. Let's go take a look at the NQ. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that you would rally on this. It truly does. It does make sense that we would rally on this. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Some of these things are just going to rip, absolutely rip. We should probably get to that next and go through it. Those numbers were good. Those numbers were really good. So let's get to that. Um, See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you see how, like, see, that's the thing now. They're going to do all these other revisions. See what gold's doing. So gold and silver will come in on this because they don't have to worry about gold, and silver will drop. The dollar probably. Let's go take a look at what the dollar is. Okay. All right. All right. Let's get to questions. So, all right. Well, I don't know how it's going to do that, but let's get rid of the British guy. Thank you, British guy. Yay. That they are huge numbers that no one predicted. Like, no one was even close to that. And what's crazy about it, you know what? Let's go through. What we'll do is let's go through it real quick so you can see where it's coming from. And this way you can learn how to do it yourself. I'm sorry, that's a lot of me in the morning, and I apologize. Let's just drop this here for 1 second. And then what we'll do is we'll go here, check, check, check. I want to make sure the audio is right. Audio is right. Good. Here we go. All right, cool. I'm just going to spend a sec here, guys, because I want you just to understand what actually happened. So non-farm payrolls is made up of 3 groups. Here's your previous, here's your consensus. If you click on this, you'll see how big of a change this is versus what you've been dealing with. But what's super important about this, the unemployment rate is going to come in. Come on, work with me, little guy. Going to come in at 4.3. The hourly earnings, what you're making per hour is up. Your year over year is up. The participation rate's actually up, which is interesting. But government payrolls, right? If you just follow along, they're getting rid of government jobs. We all know this. Manufacturing's in line, but the private payrolls, that's what's so interesting about this, because you can't really, you really can't finagle it too much, because you're in a position where you're relying on the private companies to tell you what their data is. So I find this really interesting. And it's much stronger than anybody had. Like, none of the research I have access to had anything even remotely close to this. You know, I had people that said this was going to be a dumpster fire. And quite frankly, a lot of us thought it was going to be a dumpster fire, and it just wasn't. So I was hoping that it would be a dumpster fire and then we'd blow up and then I'd be able to pick up pieces through the ashes. But that probably says a lot about me. Anyway, let's go through some of this. VRT absolutely crushed. There's very little to say here. If you think that data centers are done and you think that data centers are over, you are sorely, sorely, sorely wrong. I'm going to go through the earnings on some of these names, and then I'll take questions. LEU, yeah, you can't miss when you're trading this high. So, you know, whether that comes back or not, I don't know. We'll see. The data center names are going to be all over the place today. They're going to be the big ones now. Like, they're going to be the ones that people are going to be like, okay, what are we dealing with? What do I deal with here? If I look at something like Hood from where I'm at, for me, I didn't think this was that bad. And I put that level in there for you. ALAB, I wouldn't be surprised to see this actually bounce a little bit. Let me go back to this, because now I got split screen, these internets. I didn't think this was that bad. I'm not really sure if I'm missing something on the margin side. Now, you have a put wall. I'll show you where it is, because I think it's super important. You have a 172 put wall right there. And if I was an option market maker, I'll tell you what I would do. I would want to get that as close as possible. As close as possible to there, because that's what you're going to do. And that's how you're going to bleed everybody out, right? So if you got to something like that, that's how you're going to just bleed everybody out. And that's my opinion of it. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Pardon me. We'll see what happens there. In regards to, let me just go through this real quick because I want to see something. All right, cool. Lyft, I mean, this was pretty much a dumpster fire, but again, how much of a dumpster fire? I don't think it's that bad, but Jesus, you look at the range, 12 really is your put wall. I don't know. Lyft's such a funky one because you think it's going to be good, right? And you beat on the earnings side and revs missed. And then you come here and you miss on the revs and you miss on the earnings by a lot. And then the stock explodes to the upside. So it is what it is, guys. There's not really much to say about it. It's not one that I'm really going to go after. Ford, I don't really touch. The range was, you could drive a truck through. They said, 8 to 10 billion. It's like, Jesus, that's a range. UPST is really a dumpster fire at this point. Gilead, guidance was off. I don't know that people care. They don't seem to right now. So we'll see how that goes. Hinge, I don't know enough about it to get involved candidly or to speak about it. What I will say here is that some of these names like Shop absolutely are just exploding. So is this something that I'm really that interested in? Not particularly, but especially when you're broken like this, it's much harder for me to get giddy about it. I know I'm going to have people that are going to trade it. So I can go through some levels that I think are interesting. Like your call wall is that 126 level and you're already through it. Could they walk you back down? It wouldn't be the first time, but I don't think so. I think you'd really want to watch the breakout from here and those people that bought those earnings, which really ties you right into that 146.69 level. That would be the level that I would watch. I think that's the level that makes the most sense out of all of them. But you know what I will do, because I am going to have to make sure that I go here, and I can already hear this damn alarm going off. Give me, pardon me. Let's get to some questions, and then we'll go from there. SPY needs a direction. Agreed. Tap Sam. Sam's interesting. I think we're going to do that today. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, BBAR, I've been watching. This is really where we started breaking out again. I think, was that the elections, when the elections came out and then he won? Everyone thought that was like a really bad move by the U.S. to back him. It worked out like really well, but whatever. GGAL, you can just see you're coming back to those levels. I don't know. I mean, I'm really not there. And I'll tell you what I think is hurting it, that there's better markets now. People look at Poland, Italy, what they're doing. There's definitely better markets out there. And I think that people are seeing that right now. So yeah, there's definitely something to that. And I think that probably, that probably continues. What we really want to do is just keep an eye on it. But I think that Argentina used to be the only game in town, and it's just not anymore. From a standpoint of, pardon me, from a standpoint of, diversification, there's a lot of other names out there that you could be playing. People are going to start playing like EWY and, stuff like this, which obviously is doing fantastic. Sam's always so interesting to me because it's the one guy that basically runs the whole damn thing. But, these kinds of charts, it's just really hard for me to get involved because there's just so much weight. It's just so, the way that I always refer to them as heavy, because of where you are. I find that very heavy. So.
U.S. market movers, Humana, Croft, Mattel, Shopify, T-Mobile.
This turned into a really bad thing, right? And I think Buffett blew it out and took the loss. Now it makes sense why. So the Shopify is interesting. Do you think 26 buybacks will be more or less than 20? They'll be higher. The Bud is interesting. Tap's interesting. We've gone through those. The Sam bothers me. Rocket. Yeah, so I own Rocket. It's probably not going to have the best day, I would think, because they're not going to cut rates like that. But I still own it. Now, if we take a look at PLTR, I really think that you have to understand that we just might have seen a short-term bounce. Like that's it. That's left, head, right. And that's a big, bright, manly shoulder versus like this weak trout-like shoulder, right? So that means it's pretty strong and you ran right into the neckline and you rejected. So you really short those. You don't go long. You tested the neckline and failed. If you get a confirmation move to the downside, it's like a perfect short. And I think what you're seeing, frankly, in my opinion, is just you saw an oversold bounce. Now you have these divergences. So I don't know that I want to play with it, but it's definitely there and it's definitely an issue. So, let's see what happens with it. They're not going to wait. They're just going to buy, right? They don't care. They really, really don't care. All they did was just wait for that. And then they just bought more. So, what else you got for me? All right, hold on. No, I'm not doing anything with that. Leave it alone till the wheels come off. Just have to deal with the volatility. I like them long-term. Technically, they're all broken. Like they're just broken. So, and when it happens, it happens. Like if you just run through them real quick, you can't miss it. Like Western Digital broke. Now, does it trade up today on all this news? Maybe. And that's fine. Micron trading up. Cool. SanDisk trading up. Cool. Do they stay up? You first. Not when you start breaking like the 10s and the 22s, like here. Like, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm not playing that game right now. So I like them. Do I think the memory trade's over? No. Do I think the storage trade's over? No, far from it. Like not even close. Not even remotely close to being over. Give me one sec here. But do I think that you could pull back? 100%. Yeah, I think you could pull back pretty hard. I think that, you're going to get something that's going to drive these suckers down. And then that's when I'm going to get really involved. But the trade that you're seeing are huge rotation right now. And, I actually like the rotation because it's more low beta names where people are going to be able to hold them. This isn't for me. This isn't for me, like at all. I think that this rally was just a short covering. Personally, they're not executing right. There's delays. They're not executing. You can't screw around with this. You have one shot, and you can't screw around. You can't have delays. It's like Intel. Oh, we have this special chip. It's going to take a year longer than we thought. Like you don't have a year. You don't have a year. So I can't stress that enough. How people look at that stuff. So I wouldn't be dealing with that. I'm not interested in that at all. Why not just buy the data center build out names? Do you know what I mean? Like JL, like just buy those names. Like why buy the Neo Cloud, right? When they're building their own. Home Depot inverse. Let's take a look at Home Depot. I mean, it's there, especially if lumber goes up. When lumber prices go up, these guys go crazy. So has lumber been going up? I haven't really been tracking it. Not really, no. All right. How about LPX? Yes. Okay. That's interesting. So you're moving, but lumber's not moving. Energy is going to be on fire. Energy is only going to get bigger. As they bring a data center to your neighborhood and tell you it's good that your electrical bill is going up. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Yeah, I think the net would scare me a little bit, like to get giddy there. I've seen this before with them, and I'm not so sure that everyone's going to be as excited, but you never know. LSCC is a tough one, but I really do like that. You know what? I got to turn this alarm off. It's going to drive me freaking nuts. Give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to Sorry, guys. I got to remember them. So, yep, something like this, I think has a better shot, candidly. Raise this just a little bit. There you go. I think this has a better shot. Maybe I'll stand. My freaking legs are killing me. I think that's better. My legs are absolutely killing me. But there we go. I would just be careful here. Semis make way more sense to me than software. I really think that you're in a world of heart still with software. I have a position in IGV, but I think I'm wrong. I think I'm way early. But I tried to play for the bounce, and we'll see what happens. Do I have an opinion on the 10-year? I mean, not really. Like, nobody really wants the bonds anymore. Like, TLT's dead. I've been saying this for a long time. It's just dead. Like, if you really look at the range, this used to be what people would, the safe haven, right? And when you say, give me my way or I'm going to tariff you all the time, like after a while, people are like, we're done, man, we're done. And so that's why one of the reasons why gold. So the long end used to be the safe haven. It's not anymore. And when that starts to happen, that becomes a real issue. And we're definitely seeing that today. So it's definitely on, my radar for sure. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I'll trade it, but it's just dead money. I mean, you haven't gone anywhere since like December. Like, you broke that neckline. That's been it. So like, where are you going? I just don't see it, and I don't think they're going to cut rates anytime soon. Personally, I just don't think that that's coming either. So, I think when you think about it that way, you're in better shape. I just don't see what's going to drive it. Look at that gold bounce. And you can see it. Watch this. Like, gold just will bounce so freaking hard. Like, silver's catching up too, but man, they really want to buy gold. So anything like that, those bounces, they're just gifts. But you should do what you're comfortable with. The Bitcoin's definitely definitely there. It's definitely there. I actually think that hello from Ohio, hello from Miami. It missed, so there's not really much to say. I don't think that people are going to blow it out. I just don't think you're going to go anywhere. You're probably going to go back to flat, right? Like, I just don't see people getting out of this because of that. So, we'll see how it goes, but I just don't see that. Shop was super interesting, but do I chase shop? Charts like this, they're really hard to chase, and it's just not really worth it. So, well, if they changed the way they're calculating it, they had to go back to the old way. But the private side's super interesting. The private side of it's very, how are you going to change that? Maybe you change the equation, but we'll see. I know it's a shock. USAR. I mean, you're kind of broken. I don't really see the sense. Like, when you look at these names, I just think there's better stuff out there. I don't see the real reason to chase that. So, I don't see me. I really don't see me chasing this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of watch it and go from there. But I don't really see the reason to chase it. Just looking at things, seeing if anything makes sense. No, I just don't see it. So, it's a lot of jobs. Yeah, well, they're not going to cut rates. Yeah, I don't really get it. I think it was a really good quarter. I mean, they're not fake numbers. Numbers are the numbers. Whether you believe them or not, that's up to you. Yeah, they did the great unfolding. The great unfolding took place, and everyone's excited about that. I don't know. I mean, you really got to get through all this, and maybe that moves you. But when I have crosses like this, I just kind of stay away, and I allow them to tell me what they're going to do instead of me telling it what it's going to do. I really don't want to play with those. Like if I just showed you this, let me just do it real quick. Let's get rid of all my stuff here, right? And I'm gonna have to jump in a minute. I'm gonna get rid of the 55. And if you just looked at this and said, oh, I'm just at 1222 cross, I'm going to buy, 1222 cross, I'm going to sell, 1222 cross, I'm going to buy, 1222 cross. If it does it, I'm going to sell. Like, how did you do? Right. And watch, like you can see it. It's pretty textbook stuff. Right. So, oh, I bought here. I sold here. I bought here. When'd you sell? I haven't yet. Like you need the cross to sell. Right. So like, obviously that worked out really well, but when you go through it, they're not all going to be like that. So when I see it, like, I really don't want to rush into that. I needed to really get above that, like 108, have this thing start turning up. And then I may have an interest in a swing. Other than that, it's just a trade at this point for me. And that's kind of how I see it. Let me see something here if they're really there. I'll buy there. Good. So, all right. VRT's on absolute fire. And there was a company overseas too that absolutely crushed. The build outs are just insane. That's not going away. So you go through these. NXPI, NBIS, I have no interest in. I kept getting asked about it. All those numbers, although they'll move, the question isn't if they'll move. The question is, will they hold? And I'm just not sure that they're all going to hold. It'd be cool if they do, but I'd be more in the camp of, news had to hit there. You had to have some kind of news there. Let's go see if we can find it. They're presenting at a conference today. And they got their target price raised to 450. So, yeah, I don't know that I'd be rushing into that. I'd actually be more interested in selling into that move than anything, to be candid. Actually, I have that in another account. I'm probably going to kick it on that news. I don't know. I'm not really feeling that here, to be honest with you. I own IGV. I'm not so sure that I'm, 100% right there. To me, it looks like it's going to roll over. I'm not feeling it. I think you're better off looking at the data center names. That'll move, but I think the data center build out names, like that seems to be where it's at. Like look at GLW or GEV today. GEV is up, what, $30? Like some $32. Like some of these things are just going to absolutely explode if you follow the theme. I'd follow the theme, which is the build out. The theme is the build out. So that's really what I would be paying attention to more than anything. I really think that that's the way to look at it and kind of go from there. So I don't think the theme is, just, chase the same stuff you've been chasing. VRT is going to bonk around a lot today for sure. You can always see it starting to roll here a little bit. You were just at 240. I mean, you're not going to go straight up, but this was a blowout, like unequivocal blowout, and you still have their conference call. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, I got to jump. I got to get ready here. There's a lot going on today. I still got to write a newsletter. So if you're trying to get in the community, please check for a newsletter or a welcome invitation, or you're on the wait list. Just keep looking. They're going out in smaller batches. That's it, guys. Have a great day.